at Park Mall here in Ashford, a shopping centre owned by Ashford Borough Council, one of the more progressive councils that we work with at Rural Kent, and we're just going to go and see some examples here of fantastic social enterprises, a couple in particular, Kent Food Hubs and Bazaar. Bazaar is one we helped probably 3 years ago now set up, and we're going to meet the ladies behind it. So here we go. Like a Back to the Future setting here. There's a fantastic old school record shop selling vinyl and all sorts, and here is Bazaar itself, recently established shop front, and we'll hear about the journey with these ladies here. So we have hi ladies.
Hello.
Katie on the left and Kate on the right.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
So, I mentioned just now that we're looking to find inspiring stories relating to food and the COVID-19 pandemic, and how businesses, social entrepreneurs and people like yourself kind of pivoted, and some of the personal stories behind it, the business stories behind it, and from what I've heard, you two have got a great story on the business side and the personal side as well. So, yeah, actually, should we start with you, Katie? Because I was thinking, how long ago was it that we sat down and looked at the...
It was just over 3 years ago, before we started talking about my shop and how to, how to set up. Ended up setting up as a community interest company.
That's right, yeah. And you did it as a, what can we call it, a side hustle for a while?
Yeah. Until my contract eventually ran out this January, at which point I thought, well, it's now or never. But yeah, it was a side hustle for a long time.
Right, and you've made it work, obviously, because of this shop front, which we'll talk about in a moment. And Kate, with Kent Food Hubs, you were telling me about your journey from customer to...
Yeah, so I started as a customer, ordered a couple of weeks in a row, and then because I was on furlough from my job as a restaurant manager, I decided, well, I'm used to being busy, let's try to do something with my time. So I just volunteered, and just so happened that they needed some people because of the volume of orders went up because we were obviously in lockdown, nobody could get a supermarket slot. So yeah, I've just helped out for as long as possible, and then that slowly but surely turned into a paid job, and now I'm the Ashford Hub coordinator. So yeah, it's a journey.
Right. Now, there's a saying I'm fond of using, that you should never waste a good crisis. I don't know if it was Hillary Clinton, I think she used that, and you two are a great example of that. You've just mentioned situations where you found yourself out of work or furlough, and you just
had to do something.
So you've turned your hobby into your vocation.
Definitely, definitely.
And that, I think that's the secret to social entrepreneurship. People say, find something you love and work out a way of getting paid to do it.
Yeah,
that's
I think that's definitely where we're both at.
Yeah, I think so.
Accurate. I love food. I wanted to carry on working with food. Didn't want to work in the hospitality industry anymore, so I've just kind of turned it around. Like you say, done a pivot. I'm still involved with food, but not the stressfulness of the hospitality industry. So taking a side step out of there.
For the sake of this project, there's loads of different rabbit holes we could go down on what you've said already, but for the sake of this project, with the what you just mentioned about people getting worried about the supermarket shelves being empty and Kent Food Hubs booming over COVID, and how did that work? How did you...
Well, I think people were looking for a slot to get a delivery, and there just weren't any slots. So, I know that that's one of the things that we did. We thought about doing a supermarket shop, realised that there was no point even looking because of, the news and the hype about it all. So for the next best thing, where I'd seen Kent Food Hubs at the markets and things like that, was realising that they had an online service that we could use. And I just think more people were searching online for food, or maybe a specific product that they wanted to get hold of during the pandemic, where things was
people were ordering for their friends.
Family members, neighbours.
One customer placed 6 or 7 orders.
Yeah.
Because she realised she'd run out of other stuff, or
Yeah.
got stuff in for her mum, and so and then obviously word of mouth, they'd said, oh, you haven't been able to find any eggs. Food Hubs have got some.
Eggs
Personally,
and flour.
Pasta was
And
pasta for me. Just before lockdown started, I was limiting how much pasta people could buy because I wanted to reach as many people as possible rather than have a couple of people buy it all.
Right, so
The whole bag.
so people were literally running out of food and coming to Kent
Yeah.
Food Hubs.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And that third week was crazy. Our orders went sky high.
Yeah. And how does it work, Kent Food Hubs, for the producer?
For the producer.
Yeah.
Well, after they've joined up initially, they basically get a week. So it's a weekly order cycle. So the customers order their shopping, and then the producer, when the order cycle closes, Kate will send out an email. Well, press a button which will send out lots of reports to each trader saying how many of each thing that they've sold, what they need to get ready for us. They bring it to the hub on for us in Ashford. It's Thursday, and then we pack the customers' orders and then pay them for the goods, so they can set their own price. We
don't dictate the price that they set.
Okay.
And then the way that the hub kind of operates and still keeps the money flow coming in is that we add on a 12% that's passed on to the customer and not the
packing
producer.
fee.
So the producer gets 100% of their RRP. They're going to get all of that they set. So there's no sort of like undercutting like the supermarkets may do or anything like that. If the producer wants £1 for their product, they get £1 for their product, and then that extra bit is passed on to the customer. And then
Which is then what is used to pay Kate and pay hub running fees.
Yeah.
Right, that's what social enterprise is all about, right? So,
And people are happy to pay for the service because it is a personal service. You get to know all of the customers and what they like. You can recommend them products. You can tell them where their food has come from.
Yeah, that's the most important
thing. Yeah, that's
thing.
what they really value.
Like if so, fruit and veg. We all know fruit and veg has been quite hard recently because the weather's been so crazy. So getting a constant supply of that, I can actually go and talk to our farmer and I can say, well, how come these cauliflowers this week are slightly different to the cauliflowers last week, and he can explain whether he had to buy them in possibly to meet the demand, whether they were smaller because of the crop, whether he can explain all of those things. And from a supermarket you can't get that, can you?
Right,
you can't go and talk to the farmer and be like, why is this a different product? So it's about passing on to the customer education about, if you want a cauliflower every week, you may have to understand that some weeks my farmer has to buy it in because of the demand.
Yeah.
So this is why it may be different, packaged different and things like that.
Yeah. It might come up smaller or bigger.
Yeah,
depending on weather.
We can also talk to a customer and be like, if you don't want that product because it's come from somebody else, or it hasn't been farmed in this way or done this way, then we can take it off of their order because I understand each of my customers' needs and wants, so I can tailor their orders to that. So I think that's something that you'll never get from a supermarket or from a big fruit and veg producer.
Yeah, that's
because
amazing.
that's not their mind. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. So how about customers that came to you because of COVID and because they couldn't get food the traditional way, in supermarkets or whatever? Have they all stayed, or have most stayed?
Not all of them, but a lot of them have. Yeah, because they like we were talking about, they really value that service and that personal touch. A number went back to their old habits, but we've got no doubt that we will see them again at some point in the future, not because of the threat of any further waves of the virus.
Katie's predicting it.
No.
And the ambition for Kent Food Hubs, is it where are you at the moment? In what towns do you, obviously you're in Ashford, because you're
and
Ashford.
Folkestone. And we run markets in those locations as well. We've got the market, which is a sort of omnivore experience, then we've got veganism as well, which is plant-based offering.
I think we were talking earlier briefly about how you were trying to get away from the myth that all of this has to be kind of perceived or even is middle class or just for the well-heeled or whatever. So how do you fight that kind of perception?
It's hard, isn't it? It's hard to break down.
Definitely. We just, with Bazaar, I try and keep prices low so it's accessible to all. We are also working in the future on a sort of scheme where hopefully we can offer people kind of an opportunity to volunteer to help pack orders in exchange for some produce. So it's not just
Right, that's interesting.
the wealthy who are able to afford to shop ethically, because it should be an opportunity for all to buy local.
Yeah. We're in the process of figuring out if we can use Healthy Start vouchers in exchange for some of our food as well. So that's something that we've just started to look into. So people,
Right.
you know,
How would that happen?
just started to look
Right,
into.
okay.
Like just read through a
At the
document.
early stage.
Yeah,
But
that'd be-
you know, I think again, you know, doing that is really important, because local food should be for everyone,
Yeah.
but it's giving it a price point where it is.
Yeah.
And if we're reducing travel costs and packaging costs and things like that, then we can pass that saving on to the customer. So, but it's just figuring out how to do that and still like keep the momentum going.
Yeah, and I noticed there's actually a table full of, with free food on it.
Yeah,
So you do give food away as
it's,
well?
It's
I
pay
think
as
that's
you
the door
feel.
one, I'm sorry.
It's a pay as you feel scheme. So every Friday I get a couple of trays of surplus fruit and veg from Fairshare, who run the food banks locally. And then I just put it out, offer it on a pay as you feel basis, so people can put in nothing, they can put in a £5, and I donate that back to Fairshare, because it helps with the running of all of their schemes, and it's just another way to stop that food going in the bin, because it's all
Fantastic.
surplus.
So do people know that they can come here for that? How do you? Oh, you put it on social media, don't you?
Yeah,
See
every
that?
week
Yeah, yeah.
I take a photo of what I've got, my Friday haul, and people come flocking.
Great. I suppose people might come for that and then end up looking at the other stuff you do.
Well, yeah, exactly. So it kind of benefits everyone, and yeah, it's just part as a CIC. It's just part of, it's one way I can give back to another CIC.
Yeah, brilliant. And Kate, you were saying about moving from because you work for a national company.
Yeah, so I was almost a general manager for the UK's largest casual dining chain just before lockdown, and then obviously that happened and life got turned upside down, and that million miles per hour life I was used to leading all just kind of went out the window for a little bit. So I had to find something else. So I found Kent Food Hubs, volunteered for them, and then going back part-time furlough, I found that one foot was in this big massive company, adding to the issue of food waste and overconsumption and everything like that, and then another part of me was trying to fight for local food and support local food systems. So I was really torn. So then a little while ago I made the decision to quit the day job, and now I work for Kent Food Hubs and then Lily's Social Kitchen, but I made that connection through working through Kent Food Hubs. I wouldn't have got that job.
Right.
And I'm going to start running this monthly market as well to promote more local food. And once again, I wouldn't have got that opportunity if it wasn't for starting to volunteer for Kent Food Hubs. So
Right.
it's opened up so many doors to me that I don't think would have happened if, first off, there wasn't a pandemic, and second off, if I hadn't just had a bit of free time to volunteer. I would never have been able to do that working 48 hours a week.
Yeah.
So it was a good thing to happen.
Yeah, blessing in disguise.
Blessing in disguise. Yeah, cup half full. You've got to take the positives that you can. And I didn't want the world to open back up again and me having to work full time again, and everything that I'd done over the past year just kind of be wasted.
Yeah.
Because I had to go back and work for that big company again and work those crazy weeks and in a stressful job. So I had to make that decision when I did, before the 14th of May. I was I'm not going back. When people dine in, I'm done.
So that's really interesting, because you mentioned that you might or you will be offering volunteer places for people.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping to do. With the Healthy Start, it's very early stages,
Yeah.
but that's something that we're looking into. There's also a community garden project in the making, hopefully, working with other CICs. So, yeah.
So the message there is, I'm taking inspiration from you there, and that story you've just mentioned is that, just by volunteering a couple of hours a week, it could completely just change your life in a positive direction.
Definitely. I would have been here if it wasn't for that that crazy time packing in the hothouse at Coachworks when like filled with boxes full. You know, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that.
Brilliant. Shall we take a look inside the shop?
Yeah.
We need to do our masks.
Yeah.
So yeah, here we basically have lots of dry goods that you can buy as refills. So dispensers with seeds, nuts, beans, pulses, rice and grains, cereal, pasta, herbs and spices, liquid refills, the household liquids, shampoo, conditioner. We also have Kent Food Hub's pantry items here, which are your tinned goods. These are customer recycled containers for refilling.
This is a social enterprise, isn't it?
I think so. They build toilets in communities all over the world. So back here we've got baking bits, the herbs and spices, oil and vinegar, and then various non-food items here, which are sort of conducive with cutting down plastic in your life. But we try and keep everything really affordable, not like posh lifestyle products that people just can't afford, but functional items that soaps are only £3. It's not, because it needs to be for everyone, not just the people that can afford it. We don't want it to be like, oh, I want to help the environment but I can't afford to. That's for the middle classes. Yeah.
And so also when you're talking about like affordability and stuff, is there a price that people said that I'd love to do this but I can't afford it even at those prices?
No, generally not. I mean, on occasion someone will quibble a price or say, I can get walnuts cheaper online, and it's like, yeah, online. That's the key, and with a bricks and mortar shop you are kind of contributing to overheads, but that's how it works. And also, I can get that cheaper in the supermarket, yes, but you need to understand about supermarket buying power versus my buying power. Generally though, people will say the price is really reasonable and are pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, brilliant. And you mentioned bricks and mortar. I get the impression that the Borough Council have been really helpful in Ashford.
Yeah.
I'd like to give them some credit.
The regeneration manager at the council has been really supportive, encouraging me to take a unit, encouraging the managing agents to accept my slightly cheeky offer. This development is owned by Ashford Borough Council with obviously that managing agent in place, but they do a lot of promotion and pay for a lot of social media for the whole development, and it's a nice little community here with the Love Ashford team, so really grateful for that.
I'm right in thinking, I know I'm right, that Ashford has become recognised as a social enterprise place.
Yes.
Under the Social Enterprise UK programme, which is the first in the South East.
Yeah.
I didn't
know.
I didn't know
there
that.
you go. Yeah. So, as a social enterprise place, Ashford's been recognised as a town that encourages social entrepreneurship.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, I
think place where it can thrive.
Coincided with the first lockdown, possibly that when that happened. But great move.
Yeah.
I think Melissa was instrumental in that.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, we'll go to Melissa as well. And for UK, what's the next step? Because what happens today? Because
today
my
my delivery driver will turn up at about 2ish. I'll give the boxes that need delivering, so we do the whole of Ashford between TN23 and TN30. So he'll deliver them. We also have a pickup place in Y. He'll drop off some orders too. And then customers will start arriving from about 3ish to pick up their goods. Sometimes some of the customers will also do a bit of a shop here and then pick up their bits and pieces. And then I pack up and then I get ready for the next week and keep on going.
Brilliant. And so how's your week split up? Because you work for a couple of social enterprises, don't you?
Yeah, so I work for Lily's Social Kitchen. So Monday's family day, Tuesdays I'm in the office at Lily's. Wednesday I am in the production kitchen in Ashford for Lily's, so we make the tray bakes and the cakes and quiches and anything else. So I'm supporting various different peoples when I'm in these places doing the roles. Thursdays I do Kent Food Hubs. Fridays, pardon?
And Bear Bazaar.
And
she
Bear
looks after
Bazaar.
the shop for me in the afternoon on a Thursday
Yeah.
because she's here for the pickups anyway, which allows me to go and do the school run.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go. So it sounds like work-life balance is really good as well, yeah?
Definitely.
Family days and
Yeah, definitely.
school runs and stuff,
Definitely. Like, yeah, I think that's one of the most important reasons about making this decision to work for yourself is that you can have that more of a balance.
Yeah.
Fridays, what do I do Fridays? Fridays, I am in Lily's Bistro in Canterbury, where I support various different people working there. And then some Saturdays I'm going to be running a market. So that's this Saturday. And then Sundays, family day.
Chill.
Yeah, chill.
Sounds like you need it.
Yeah.
Just very briefly, Lily's Kitchen, 'cause I will go and see Zoe over in
Yes,
Glasgow as part of this project, but just really briefly, what
Okay, so Lily's Kitchen work with people with learning differences and ASC, and they work at providing them with training through apprenticeships and internships and such to be able to have gainful employment. So we train them, work them through units, give them qualifications, and then they can move on to a job. So one of the girls that works for us, she was working in the production kitchen, recently just got a job at McDonald's. So, you know, she's going to be working there, and she's going to be having a part-time job, which is amazing for her.
Brilliant.
Because she,
Lovely.
like
Yeah, I'll go and see
breaking down those barriers.
Yeah, what day are you there?
Fridays.
Friday. I'll try and make it a Friday then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll ask Zoe when she's around
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Brilliant. Well, customers are here now.
Yeah.
So thanks for your time.
No
Yeah?
worries. Thank you, Carl.
Brilliant.
It's blue. Is the
Yeah, yeah.
roll the same colour?
Oh, no, they're all the same.